Orange You Glad It's Friday. I tried to summon, didn't get anything on either account. What I have done though is gotten my greatest Codex score for ranking ever. And I'm certain this isn't going to hold up. It's probably already moved. Yep. Rank number 51 on the Arbiter of Frost Codex. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm looking at the ranking and I can't believe that I'm at 51. Obviously, there's many people going to be above with a Praetus and Arbiter lineup and having constants and stuff. This helps, okay? So I just put together one of these lineups that I could. And being ranked 51, definitely, I can't see me staying, obviously, with an A plus only. But what's important here is I brought burn damage, true damage, a bleed. Also, if I can't break, if you're not familiar, I'm going to show you the fight, but there's a like a burn phase where you have to, this boss, bad boy Boreas, he summons this cryosphere thing that you have to burn, and if you don't, he does a blast of AoE damage. So Salazar during his ultimate is immune to that as well. Cuke I just built so that he has, poison. They say bring poison. But the unsung hero is Nissalt. And I put him the 5-star promotion, and I finally have a use for my Alistair. Or Alistair, Fred Alistaire. He was doing some tap dancing. You'll notice I didn't bring a healer. It might be nice to try with an Eloin, but this was without an Eloin, my first try. And I don't have 100 million damage coming out of a Hex. I have the damage coming out of Nissalt, and I have it coming out of Cuke. And if you don't know, I can't verify to show you on this account, but after you clear the second challenge to build up to the boss fight, the game gives you a 5-star promoted Cuke for free. I wish they let us know early. It's a nice thing to have a surprise, but I spent a lot of resources on my free-to-play account to make a five-star promoted Cuke that now is a waste. Anyways, that's part of the gaming life. Let's do the fight to show you. As you see here, it's saying after dealing continuous damage to the Arbiter of Frost or Cryocore, the hero starts restoring HP. So that's why you want to bring Burns and Poison heroes, because they regenerate their own HP. And the same thing with the Arbiter guys. I guess Praetus does continuous damage. I don't have him, but Fred Alistaire sure does. So I've got some tap dancing from Fred Alistaire and Zilly and Sexy Hexy. They're not the best heroes here, but they're adding a burn that seems to be constantly on the boss. So I'm going to do this in ×1. It's still early. It's only been out, I think, for like 3 hours at this point, but still, to achieve a rank 51 on my third attempt, I'm very happy. Now, this fight, I tried it, like I said, the first 2 times with a, what's her name? Eloin, a healer, but you really don't need the healer. And these people, as long as they're doing some form of continuous damage, they heal themselves. So this is like the initial phase here where I just burn a few of my ultimates because some of these heroes have Soulbound Arcana on. So I want them to get their stacks. And obviously, as soon as I can get this boss out of this phase, the sooner I'm doing damage. There is no damage, if you're noticing, in this phase. So this debuff here says it increases continuous damage taken by 200%. So I don't know if that's the stacks of poison add that. I'm sure if you read the description of the fight, it's going to explain it to you. However, I'm going to use ultimates early before the boss brings out their first cryosphere. And you'll see it forms right in front of Bad Boy Boreas, right on his frozen toe slippers here. But this, from Alistair, he takes 15% more damage from all sources when Alistair's throwing down that debuff. So that's another reason why he's good in this fight. But you're seeing all these heal numbers. I don't have a healer out there. So here's that cryo core mass. Obviously on this one, I don't need to use an ultimate to burn it. But if you don't, then the boss casts a massive AoE, kind of like that N917 stage. And that's where a hero like Salazar is better than Vladov or Lugaru, who might do better bleeds overall, but they can't evade that ultimate if you don't burn the cryosphere. But look at these debuffs. This is what's really important, is to constantly have some form of a debuff. And again, I never read why you can get 2 stacks on this. I don't know how to increase those stacks. However, I do know that being at rank 50 is something that is I'm very proud of, regardless of how early we are into this fight. There's many whales and krakens that have awakened Alistairs and Pratises that are going to come in and they're going to kick the crap out of this. But while I can record and upload my strategy for you, this is it's not free to play, obviously, because of Hex and Zilly and Salazar. But I mean, the odds of you having a Praetus over a Hex or a Salazar, in my opinion, it's so low. Praetus, Soul Cadens, obviously, if you have these heroes, you're going to do pretty good stuff here. For me, I'm happy on like day 160 something on this account that I was here when Alistair became a fragment fusion. And you're going to notice how much he heals himself here because of his continuous damage during his ultimate. So now I'm going to start saving Hex and Zilly's ultimates for when that cryosphere comes out. Everybody's ultimate. I want to make sure I burn that cryosphere. I don't think you get any damage increase or anything for breaking it for your own heroes. But I think if you don't break it, you're going to wipe. So the other reason that Hex is good here is that he has like a single cheat death as well for every 55 seconds or something. Yeah, when you break that core, it looked like I got that extra damage. So now the boss is taking, what is it here? 400% extra damage because it says he takes 200% for each stack. So down here, it's saying each stack reduces damage taken by 80. So you have, right? You have to try to get more stacks above what damage he's reduction is. And I didn't know that until just now. So that's pretty cool. The idea I think is to make sure you break this cryosphere. So I'm going to use my ultimate from Salazar. And this is messy, by the way. Like as you've noticed, like I got very fortunate that my Alistair still had his ultimate going to help burn that cryosphere. But if you don't break that thing, that's game over to my knowledge. You maybe you get ace, right? Maybe you get ace. So since all my heroes have basically full HP, I don't need to use an ultimate to hope to get some kind of a burn or a magic, a poison up there. That's why Nissalt, he might not share, he's going to share poison stacks, to my knowledge, with Cuke, but it's okay because he's got one up there. He's getting credit, so he's getting a heal. And to me, it doesn't really matter who gets the highest score if I'm getting in a top 100. I'm pretty happy, man. And I hope whatever you get from this guide, it shows you some strategies for yourself. Because you can use an element, you can use, I see it with Twin Fiend, there's Pyros, however you want to do it. The damage output is coming from the burns. It's coming from the stacks after you break that cryosphere or whatever, the cryosphere core. I forget what it's called. But if you're looking here, my Alistair, or Fred Alistaire, he's not healing. He's not doing continuous damage to my knowledge at that point. So even though he's doing the continuous damage, he didn't have like a burn on the boss or a debuff. So he wasn't getting a heal. So you're going to see this cryo core AMAS. I'm not going to break it. I mean, it's pretty close. Maybe I will. So let's pretend that I don't, just to show you here. And I'm going to save my Salazar ultimate and purposely die on it. So I'll use Salazar to avoid fatal damage. And I don't know if I timed it right, but you saw Hex didn't die from that wipe. Okay, so I'm just going to hurry up on the times 2 here and let what's his name here, Salazar, die. But the clock ran out, and that's the 4th run I've done ever. It's the 2nd run with that lineup. And I got a pretty decent score according to what people currently are attaining. And again, a hero that used to be bugged out. If there was a magic burn on a target, Nissalt wouldn't apply his poison. And I'm assuming they've fixed that. So maybe you take Salazar out and you try a Vlad somebody else with a bleed, because it makes sense to me to have at least one bleed hero in your lineup. So for the fun of it, we're going to do it again. Okay, as you saw, I wasn't very far off of my overall best score. And you're noticing now, like I've already bumped 10 ranks. Like I'm not going to be in the top 100 with an A plus. That would be disgusting. It would be an overtuned boss fight if it was that way. So let's try it again. And I'm just going to do it on ×2 the whole way here with you. I think this fight's pretty decent. I like the idea of it because, I mean, not only that, they give you a free 5-star Cuke, 5-star promoted. So if you're new to the game, you're getting one of the best heroes to use for this, or a 5-star chicken. Regardless of what's going on, there's a corridor of glory. I want 5-star chickens, and it gave you one. So the same thing with my main account here. I've had a Cuke built on it for a long time. Today I 6-starred them. So I get a free 5-star chicken. I can't complain. There's something about the bad Boy Boreas situation that left a bad boy taste in a lot of people's mouth. And if you don't know, and I saw it recently on an Ash video, they're doing the right thing, in my opinion, by giving us a book that rewards all resources that somebody's poured into Boreas. They can't give you a complete refund of money. They just can't do that. That's bad look for business. But what they have done is said to the community, look, we listen to you, we appreciate you because you guys make our paychecks. We love our game, we want to make money, and we want you to enjoy it. The more you enjoy it, the more you're likely to play and pay. So I think that was the greatest response they could have had with the bad boy Boreas situation on Forerunner thus far, at least. Is the nerf too big? Maybe, maybe not. I've always said that Boreas's passive range required a reduction. It's ridiculous that you can stick Boreas in the farthest possible tile from the Seer in Void Rift and freeze the boss, or hit him with the anti-heal. That is too big of a passive to freeze everything. Other than that, that's my opinion on it. They've rectified the situation correctly to me, giving everybody, if you don't know, check out Ash. If you see my videos and you don't know Ash, Watcher of Realms, go to YouTube, type in Ash, Watcher of Realms. It's his most recent upload. And it's the best thing they could have done, man. They said if you don't like the hero anymore, you can refund all the resources. The issue, though, is if you summon and you have like an A4 Boreas that you used actual Boreases to awaken, you're going to get Boreases in return. So you'll just have to sell them for like 100 currency each to use in the awakening shop. But to me, that's unheard of in the money hungry gacha gaming industry. I've always felt that the Watcher of Realms people have listened to us. And I fill out that survey that shows up, sometimes it's every 2 weeks or monthly in the bottom left corner. And I suggest you do the same. Whatever the masses seem to share as a request or an opinion or something with the company, are you kidding? Within a week, they say, here's the response, and it's a proper one. They're not messing around. We're their cash cow. The happier that you keep your addicts, the more they're going to come to your door knocking for their drug. However you want to look at this game, whatever analogy you want to use, our pushers are doing the right thing. They put a light in the alleyway, and they showed us that they legitimately want us to get the game how we want it, not how the developers intended all the time. And that's how you make a game last longer and keep a community healthy. And something like this, a new Codex boss that I'm not a superstar, I'm not a pro player, and I definitely don't have a Kraken or a whale account. I'm not even a dolphin. I've spent $223, I looked today, in total in this game in 6 months. And I'm able to squeak onto the leaderboard pretty deep, albeit very, very early on. I won't stay there, but I'm going to get some opportunity to summon tomorrow for the Ancient Banner. And it's a fun fight. We're using heroes that you don't normally use. And if you don't like the fight, you come into the stage 2 part of working your way up to it, and you'll get a free 5-star Cuke, 5-star promoted. And you'll notice, like you'll see here, I bet if I put it on auto, I'd get in this 800,000 range again. So hopefully that brief guide shows you what you can do in that stage. And it's not too much about gear, except on Cuke. Let's go to Cuke, okay? You want your, because look, my Hex is in some pretty insane gear for most players' accounts, okay? This is some disgusting stuff. And he barely did anything because he's not the correct hero. He's a great hero because he has burn and he can survive. He's got a cheat death, but you want your Cuke and your Nissalts and your Alistairs in there. And Salazar only did 22 million damage. Like, you could probably use somebody else as well. So on Cuke, that's all I did was make sure he had enough speed so that he's attacking almost at 1 second. I want him to be able to keep his poison stacks on. And where I think I had, who was it? It was Nissalt that kicked the crap out of it. Like, this is crazy to me. It's such a joy to be able to use a Nissalt. Now, I did put him in some decent gears for Soulbound Arcana. But if you don't know about Nissalt here, okay, he casts some crazy stuff. This bottomless flask, he has infinite magic vials during his ultimate. Okay, so he throws out burning or poison. And then you can go through his kit yourself. If you have a Nissalt, I suggest you build him. If you have a Cuke, at least use the one they give you if you don't at 5-star. And you're going to do very well. I hope that this guide helps you achieve at least a B, if not an A. The rewards are still fairly decent, even for just an A on a brand new bad Boy Boreas Codex boss. This was New Name playing my favorite game, Watcher of Realms. Take care, everyone.